Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing great today. Appreciate those of you who watching this video. And today we're talking about this Korean drama that came out a few years ago called Arthdal Chronicles. And to be honest, this is the type of show I really enjoyed. In fact, last year when I was watching Alchemy of Souls, I was hoping it would be more like this show. But Alchemy of Souls had way too much romance in it for me. It was kind of like a romance show taking place, with sword and sorcery kind of stuff. But Arthdal Chronicles, yeah, this is my type of show. If I'm going to compare it to a show that everybody's seen, it would be somewhat like Game of Thrones, like the PG-13 version of Game of Thrones, where you have this land where has this government that has multiple tribes in it, and each tribe has a function to do in this government. And you have a person who's trying to combine these tribes and become king and kind of disband the system of government they have now, where each tribe, kind of takes care of a certain part of this government, where he's trying to basically unite all the tribes into this one great big kingdom, and that is his goal. One of the things I liked about this is that not everybody is bad and everybody's good. You got a lot of kind of your grayish characters. I guess you could say our main character here, he's probably like the purest good guy that you have, and in this whole show. And I really like how this show has like a theme. Like you said, we have this kingdom that has it's basically like a huge, let's call this a city-state, just for sake of argument. You get this huge city-state type of place, and you can kind of tell because you get these different kingdoms, tribes trying to act like one big government, that you see a lot of people not trusting. Like the tribes don't really, while they're working with each other, they don't really trust the other tribes type of thing. So you get to see a lot of political maneuvering as certain leaders are trying to contract or trying to obtain as much power as you can. And it's basically that side of the story. We have an individual here who's just trying to be the king of this city-state, so he's trying to eliminate the other tribe leaders and combine and get rid of that system. And very bad at pronouncing words, as he's trying to consolidate all his power into him. So that's what the story really is about, is this guy trying to consolidate all the power so he can become king. They really did a good job of telling that side of the story of how he's able, of his way of getting more and more power and stuff. It seems like he's trying to be, you also kind of see his, not to give away too much, but his struggle on how to be king and how to get this power. He kind of doesn't want, he knows he's going to have to be ruthless, but he doesn't want to be extremely ruthless. He wants to be kind of loved by the people. And as the series goes along, you can kind of tell the struggle about how ruthless he should be into obtaining his power, and what actions are takes. So sometimes he wants to do the noble thing, but he has no qualms of doing underhanded tactics and getting this. And it's basically because the people he's kind of struggling with, they're like that too. So there's kind of no trust in this great big city-state as they're trying to do this. And when people are trying to gain power, it's hard to trust those around you. And even the woman he loves type thing. So this does have a little bit of romance. Be honest, I know I just said that the Alchemy of Souls has way too much romance, but this one could have used this a little more. But what's interesting is I don't really want to call this guy who's trying to gain all this power a villain type of thing. But it's clear that as the series moves on, that this announced the series 2, that his kingdom's going to be like the antagonist, just how this ended. But the romance side of this is more with our grayish, baddest side of the storyline, as you see these two people, this man and this woman, they love each other, but they don't really trust each other. As they go forward, they both want power type of thing. And so they work together to attain this power. So that was like a really interesting part of this. And the other thing you'll see, and it's kind of like has a biblical side of this story, is like if you, in the Old Testament, if you read or study the Old Testament, you get it always talks about how evil cities are and how bad the people in cities are. The whole story of Sodom and Gomorrah, they were very wicked type of thing. You kind of get this aspect in this show as the city, nobody trusts each other, everybody's wanting power. People, they kind of made it look like, people in the cities have no, if they throw you underneath the, I want to say, okay, underneath the bus, but there's no bus there, right? They'll throw you underneath the bus, they'll do whatever they can, undercut you, backstab you, just to get what they want. And that's kind of how it portrays in this city-state type of thing. Like I said, it's kind of like how cities are portrayed in the Old Testament. And then on the other side of the story, while it focuses on that, we get to see at the beginning of this series how this tribe lives away from everybody. They're secluded. They all act as one. They're like one big family. Everything they do is decided as a group, and they try to achieve their goals as a one group. They believe in each other. They get total trust with each other. And then when they're attacked and kind of taken over by this city-state eventually, and then they're people who was kind of like pure, they got this pureness to them, pure love. And then they get kind of taken as slaves, and then they kind of get intertwined with the city-state, and their beliefs start to change. A lot of it, and you can understand why they achieved, because, the way that they were living was conquered by the way that the city-state is living, and they start to receive like riches, eventually. I'm not going to tell you how to get there, but they eventually get freed, and they start to get intertwined with the society, and you get like nice bracelets and stuff, and their beliefs start to change. They start to kind of get greedy and start to put aside their old life. And there's still a few of them, who's holding on to the old tradition. Our female lead here, I guess you call her, I'm thinking there, if she's really a female lead. There's so many main characters in this, it's kind of hard to say like who's your real main characters, but I would say she's a main character. She does have a huge part in this. She becomes like, eventually she'll become like a priestess of the city-state, and she's trying to hold on to, balance her life. She wants to hold on to those old traditions, but she's getting forced into the society and starting to now, then she has to handle being a person in power, and, kind of go along with the king and stuff, like the leaders, I don't want to say king, but the leaders of the city-state. She has to learn how to play this political game. And then we have, I really like the beliefs, or kind of like the religious aspect of this. Because it's kind of like, is there a God, or is there this, because it's in between, like, there's religious power, but how much is there really a God controlling these things? Like, especially with her, our priestess, she was like a priestess in training in her tribe type of thing. And she comes up with this prophecy, and it doesn't come true right away. So you're just kind of like, thinking, is there really a God that's controlling things that she's working with? So it's kind of like keep the religious part kind of grayish, especially with our main good guy here. I'm going to say he's a good guy because he is all pure of heart. He's learning there at the end of this to be a little deceitful, but in true, he's really still a good guy. And he doesn't, at this point in time at least, who knows what happens in season 2, but this time at least, he's doing like completely lying and stuff like that. He doesn't believe in that stuff, and he's holding true to his core, even when things get hard for him there at the end. But what I'm trying to say is, on the religious thing, people are treating him like a messiah, like a second coming of this great warrior who's going to free their tribe, free their group of people, and lead them to greatness. On that side of the story, it's really like kind of black and whitish, if he's really is the second coming. He doesn't have any magical power. He does like a prophecy, but when he makes his prophecy, he's actually making it just because he's done an observation of how people act in certain situations. So he knows if he says or acts a certain way, the reaction from the crowd is going to give him the results that he wants. So it's kind of like, is there a God that's controlling things? Is there not? I kind of like how they wrote the religious part of this of the show. I love how they show us how this society functions, how it works. I think it's believable. I think it is believable. It's nothing out there outrageous. There's not too much plot armor in this, which, these type of shows, usually the main characters have a lot of plot armor. You don't get that much really from this. Maybe from our good guy here, the one who's pure, there might be a little bit of plot armor for him, but for the most part, there's not much. And I don't know, I think it's excellent writing. Definitely check this out. My only concern about this is that there's a season 2. The season 1 ended with a cliffhanger, and it needs to be a season 2. I found this on Netflix. It's on Netflix, but season 2 might not be on Netflix. I don't know how I'm going to watch season 2, which is the one thing that kind of held me back from watching this sooner, was that, this is 20 episodes long, and it ends on a cliffhanger. Will they finish the series? Because I hate enjoying something and then that show not finish. So I was a little worried about that. However, so I took the dive once I found out there was a season 2, and hopefully I can be able to find season 2 somewhere. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to highly recommend this, especially if you're somebody like me who likes these time period pieces, and with a little bit of sword and sorcery added into it, which are fantastic. I love those kind of shows. So yeah, check this one out if you like that. And if you don't like it and just like a good story, you'll enjoy it as well. Have a great day, and bye.